Okay, everyone. So this was about 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago. This sports announcer, in the middle of a sports broadcast, suffered some kind of a medical emergency. As you can see here in the thumbnail, the picture, the gentleman to the left is kind of slouched back in his chair. Well, what in the world happened? Well, apparently something happened. They call it dehydration, or they say they gave him some kind of treatment to treat his dehydration, quote unquote. But maybe there's something else that is going on that caused him to have this emergency. Let us check it out in the video.
Worries today for a veteran sportscaster who had a scary medical emergency on live TV, and we should warn you, the video's upsetting.
Big for a 19-year-old kid. Wow.
Keep your eyes on sportscaster Bob Rathman. The play-by-play announcer for the Atlanta Hawks basketball team slumps in his chair, then starts convulsing while his co-anchor keeps going, unaware of the emergency.
I look for this kid to have a really good first half of the season.
As Rathman loses consciousness, you can see someone off camera reach in to help him. At that moment, the camera cuts away.
Bob's having a problem.
So what went wrong? Rathman's rep sent Inside Edition a statement saying the 68-year-old announcer, quote, briefly lost consciousness on the court. Emergency medical professionals on site quickly treated Rathman for dehydration.
I look for this kid.
The statement also says Rathman is now stable and responsive.
Okay, everybody, now look at this picture. You see that handsome man there in a white suit? Yes, that's Nate Jones. That is a picture of a guy who ran for mayor of New Orleans in 2021. Now you saw the sports announcer, his name was Bob. That was in 2022, right? But Nate Jones, handsome man, ran for mayor in 2021. Look at this picture, y'all. He's stinking. Nate is thinking, like, why in the world did Mr. Bob pass out during the Atlanta Hawks basketball game 2 years ago? Well, there's a lot of theories to that, but as you saw, the statement was he was treated for dehydration. Well, Nate Jones is here to tell you that it was not dehydration. Now, just think of a big event, everybody, that has happened since 2020. What would you say is one of the biggest events worldwide medically that has happened within the last 4 years, especially since the pandemic? Yes, the jabs in the left arm that many people took since 2020. Now, Nate Jones is 98% sure that Mr. Bob received the jab from the Kobe Bryant 19 vax. We're going to call it Kobe, like Kobe Bryant. Kobe 19 vax. I've been doing research on this jab, y'all, ever since it came out. Because one thing I studied in school was the scientific method. Now, I'm not a drinker. Well, I drink maybe twice a year, but that's not considered a drinker. I'm not a smoker. I don't do drugs. And I encourage everybody to follow suit and take care of your bodies. Nate Jones isn't one to take chances because, he loves his city and somebody's got to shine for New Orleans. You heard me? So Mr. Bob falls back in his chair, as you saw in the video, America. That was not dehydration because he was not doing any strenuous exercises. Let's say like a Lamar Jackson who plays football for the Baltimore Ravens. Now that man is more likely to get dehydrated because he's physically playing and sweating. But Mr. Bob here, he's just sitting and chilling. It takes 0 calories to sit down like Mr. Bob was doing. So, America, my conclusion as you look at this handsome man in a white suit, he's thinking. My theory and analysis is that um, when they were rolling out the jabs 3 and 4 years ago for the pandemic, many people have had reactions from this jab in the arm, as President Joe Biden casually said. And by the way, a president should never give medical advice. Understand? Doesn't matter if it's Kamala or Joe Biden. That is a violation of the Fourth Amendment, my fellow Americans. And there's something that's called the Fourth Amendment that protects your body. You know, the authorities cannot touch your body, unless you commit a crime or something, correct? If you commit a crime, they got to come in with a warrant and come and seize you, whatever. Amen. But the government has no authority to tell you what to do with your body. Think about it, America. The Jabby Jab campaign, in which millions and millions of people got in their left arm, many people have been getting side effects, y'all. I'm going to just give y'all 3 side effects. That's about 100, at least 100. One is myocarditis. People have been having heart problems since the Jabby campaigns. And I've heard many testimonies, and I have close people that told me that their hearts have not been functioning as it was before they got the jab, before the pandemic. So the myocarditis problem is one. Number 2, the pericarditis, which is the sac around the heart. People been and doctors been seen with damage from pericarditis. And with myocarditis and pericarditis, the rhythm of the heart is changing, and people are having problems with that. Maybe that's why Mr. Bob fell back in his chair. Maybe there was an oxygen issue. And a third side effect, America, is blood clots. Just look it up, CDC. Many people have been reporting blood clots in their bodies, right? And maybe Mr. Bob got a blood clot. Maybe something got clogged and oxygen didn't go to his brain, and his brain can send a signal to his hands and limbs and other parts of his body, which caused him to have the reaction on live TV during the Atlanta Hawks basketball game. He was covering the basketball game. So the lack of oxygen could have been an issue. So, ladies and gentlemen, those 3 side effects are just 3. There's like many more. I don't have time to give it all to you. But and number 4, menstrual cycle changes. Ladies, I'm not going to go there. So you have to go through the scientific method, ladies and gentlemen, before you take anything in your body. All other vaccines before this one, the Covi jabs, it took them years to test it out before they gave it to the public. It's called the scientific method, stupid. And the speed of this Jibby Jab campaign was like to which we have never ever seen in American history. I always preach to people, faith over fear. Faith over fear. Many people took the jab out of fear. I just got to put it on record. People were scared and crazy and calling family members the devil and this, that, and the other. But you got to have faith that the Lord's going to take care of you if you make good decisions. You don't have to rush all of a sudden for a quick solution, because sometimes the quick solution may not be the proper solution. And many state governments or city governments authorize this, which I totally disagree with. But people having side effects, ladies and gentlemen, you saw the video with your own eyes. Just think about the last 30 years of basketball and sports commentary. Have you ever seen anything like this? Going back to the Michael Jordan era, the Kobe Bryant era, Emmitt Smith, Brett Favre, Drew Brees. Have you ever seen an announcer pass out like that? I have not, y'all. That's only happened in the 2020s. So it shows you that something happened to Mr. Bob. And yes, Nate Jones, 98% sure that that was the jabby juice. I'm pretty sure Mr. Bob had a vaccination card from the jabby juice. But this has never, ever happened in the history of American sports broadcasting.